Well, hey everyone, it's Ashley here from Lovely Commotion. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. I am super excited to share with you a new resource to hit the shelves in the Lovely Commotion store, and that is magnet board games. Do you have a magnet board in your preschool classroom? Drop me a comment and let me know. I actually use an oil drip pan, like I guess it's used in automotive stuff. I have no idea. But I do know it's in the automotive department and it's this big old pan, and I'll show you some pictures. And it's magnetic and it's not horribly expensive as opposed to buying a big magnet board. And so I had one of these in my classroom, and I love adding learning fun into my centers any way I can. So I got this oil drip pan. It was kind of a trend going on a couple years ago, and I was super excited. And it didn't take me long to realize that finding things to actually do on this oil pan magnet center wasn't going to be easy because there just wasn't a ton of magnetic stuff out there, like manipulatives and things that didn't cost me an arm and a leg. I mean, you've got your letter number or your letters and numbers that are magnetic. We all have those. There's generally some shapes you can find. I found some at the dollar spot many years ago. And I do have some pattern block magnets that are getting pretty sad though, and I need to replace. But other than that, I couldn't find a whole lot. Like I do have the sticks and the curves for children to create letters with, but I certainly didn't have enough stuff to rotate out my magnet center even every month. So it was getting kind of bland. Like nobody even really wanted to go there, and it started to feel like just kind of like a wasted space in my classroom. And I never love that. Never love a wasted space. And so me wanting to change this out meant I was going to have to find a solution if I wanted to keep this magnet center. So what's a girl to do? You create it yourself, right? Or at least I do. And so now I have 12 games that I can switch out on my oil drip pan. And I'm super excited about it because I can add in some other pieces if I find more and trade it out more than once a month. But at least this will give me a starting point. And so I wanted to share with you these 12 games that I created. I love it. They're skill-based, so they encourage learning in a hands-on way. And I love that they use a different medium to add to that hands-on learning with magnetism, right? Because we've got a light table where they're taking in some great colors and things visually, and now they're able to, through touch, feel that magnetism and learn in yet another medium. So I just want to show you these 12 ones and see if there's something that you could use and kind of give you a peek into what is inside this new resource. So first up is colors. I figured I would try this one out early in the year because that's when I feel like, as far as 4-5s, working on colors is more the beginning of the year skill. So there is like a paint bucket for each color, and then they have sorting magnets. And so basically I just used that sticky backed magnet paper and stuck it on. I only laminated those pieces, the little pieces, I only laminated the front of them so that the back would stick really well since it was paper. Worked out fabulous. Cut around the magnet, and now I have all these little pieces for them to sort. And I'll show you in just a minute how I handled the large paint buckets, because I'm not sure if you can see it in this picture, but I did not want to add a magnet to the back of these, and I did not want to make them super thick because I wanted them to be able to magnets to be able to magnetize on top of them. And so what I did was basically I just laminated the front, put on a piece of contact paper, put that contact paper up there, and then I can reuse that by saving the back of the contact paper. And then when they get kind of icky, I can take the contact paper off and it'll be laminated on the front so it won't totally ruin my graphic. That's the plan. So colors, great. They're just basically sorting by color. And I also have, which is not in this picture, one of those cool magnetic little cubby holders that you generally put like on your magnet board to store markers and such. Great to store these little tiny pieces too. Shapes. we're going to be sorting some shapes. I got these clips off of Amazon, these magnetic clips. And with these clips, it makes it a whole lot easier. I don't have to go necessarily the contact paper route if I don't want to. And so I've clipped all the shapes up, and then they are sorting the objects by shape, and they can kind of set this up how they want, right? It might be interesting to see. If they're struggling, I could add painter's tape to the different sections for them to kind of give them that push in the right direction. But yeah, so this one will be super easy to set up. I'll just clip those up there, and then they will have these with magnet, the magnet paper is what I used on those as well for them to sort. Also, sorting by size. So we've got a large net, a medium net, and a small net to sort the fish by size. And then as just an added bonus, there is some color sorting fish as well. So going into the sorting and the sorting and size with this one. So next game is categorizing. I apologize. My mouth is not wanting to work today. They are going to take these pictures and sort them by the category that they belong in. And so you can kind of see in this picture that I used the contact paper over the top because these are fairly large graphics to get them to stick. And then on the back of the little squares, I just added peel and stick square magnets. I didn't go ahead and magnetize the whole back because I knew that it could probably withstand just having that on the back, and so far so good. So they are sorting the pictures, categorizing the pictures by where they belong. Is it a food, animal, sport, or weather? The next one is pretty fun. We got some treasure boxes here. This is working on counting with one-to-one correspondence and finding that matching numeral. So numeral to set. So what they do is they lift up the treasure chest lid and they count how many jewels, and then they find that key that will unlock it. And again, I used the clips from Amazon. They're just like magnetic clips, and I stuck them on the front of those treasure boxes, and then they just take the clip and they clip it on. So now they're working on fine motor as well, trying to clip that clip on there, clip that key on there. For this one, I went ahead and laminated both sides of everything, made it so that the top of the treasure box lifts up, and then I just put square magnets on the back, just simple square magnets on the back, working really well. And I think this is going to be a big favorite because who doesn't love to lift the lid on a treasure chest, right? Rhyming is next. So these are rhyming frogs. The lily pads themselves are put on with contact paper, so they are stuck there. And then the frogs are magnetic. And so they are looking for, on the frog's belly, there's a picture, and they're looking for the matching picture that rhymes on the lily pad. So just a fun little matching game, but it's up vertically, and they are having to use some of those muscles back here that they use when they go to write to manipulate the frogs and all the other pieces that are in this game set up on the magnet board. All right. I don't know if you can see my drip pan very well. Actually, I forgot to kind of talk about that. If you go back, like you can kind of see this is it. It's fairly large, but I actually just put a ton of sticky tack on the back and push it against the wall, and I rarely have it fall down. If it maybe gets, a little humid or super temperature variant in the room, it may, but in general, it never really ever has fallen off. And so I push that up against the wall, and that's how they use it. So oil drip pans, if you haven't checked that out, they're in the automotive department in Walmart, I know. And then like if you can't find them there, like Auto Store or whatnot should have them. This one is pattern blocks. So I had some pattern blocks already, but I included the pieces in this set in case you can't find any or don't have any. And then you can create your own by putting the magnet paper on the back and then cutting them out. Mine are looking kind of sad. They're foam. They've been with me for many, many years, but these have just a picture of what they need to build, and then I used the magnetic clip, clipped it up there, and then they are going to work to build that. Again, they're doing this vertically, so it makes it a little bit of a different challenge than it is in the math center. So that one's a fun one. And then we have names, and this one will need to be changed out every year, obviously, but there's some for smaller names. You can customize it. So if you want to do all uppercase, if that's how you teach it, like the picture with Mia on there, you can do that. Or you can do it traditionally with the first uppercase letter. And I found uppercase and lowercase letters from Learning Resources. And so they are going to build their own names, and they can build their friends' names too. So you could either just use the magnets themselves to put these up, or you could just even attach a little bit of tape to them if you wanted to, or you could contact paper over them, whatever works. I didn't laminate these knowing that they were going to have to be changed every year, but I think this would be a fun one when you get into name writing, for just another way for them to practice building their name. And then we have sorting. These are the feed me's, and so they feed me and the monkey, they feed them uppercase letters, so only uppercase letters, and they've got them around kind of his mouth to give them kind of that visual clue of what they're looking for. The pig is feed me lowercase letters. The cat is feed me numbers, and the shark is feed me names. And so you'll have to either write or print their names and put a magnet on the back of those. So it's just kind of helping them see the differences between what a name, a word, a number, and letters, upper and lower, the differences there. So you could easily use only 2 of these sortings, right? You could easily do uppercase and lowercase, maybe add numbers and names later, or do uppercase letters and numbers, because sometimes that's hard for them to distinguish between. And so just a fun little sorting, because they get to put it into the mouth of the animal. Number stews, these are fun because they're just the number and they're matching the numeral. So it's a great early of the year skill where they're just matching, finding it and matching it. And it goes up to 9. And then upper and lowercase matching. So this could be used 2 ways. You could just have them match lowercase to lowercase if you have lowercase magnet letters, or you could have them do the uppercase to the lowercase. And I would not put out all of them at once unless you think you have a friend that could handle it or asks for more. But in general, just getting out some of those that are a little bit harder for children to figure out, that don't look like their counterpart, right? The lowercase doesn't look like the uppercase, like these in the example. Giving them just the letters that they need up on the board kind of will help scaffold this activity and get them going in the right direction. And then the last one of the 12 is sounds. And so they're going to listen for that beginning sound, something that I will do close to later in the year. And they're listening to that beginning sound and finding that letter. Again, I will not put all of these up at once. I will not put all 26 sounds up for my children, because that may just be way too much and way too overwhelming. And so I will pick some, and maybe I will start with their letters, right? Their beginning letters, and find those, stick those up there. I just had them stuck up with the magnets. You could also use tape, whatever you would like with those. I didn't end up putting magnets on the back of these, but you could if you needed to. And then putting only the letters that are going to match with that to kind of set them up for success, since they will be in the center and won't necessarily be with you. If you're using this as an activity with you in like a small group, that would be something that you could scaffold and you could kind of add to this, or make it a little bit more of a challenge because you're there, right? So 12 magnet games for your magnet center. If you have a magnet center or a magnet board, I will say most of these will not fit on just a cookie sheet. So they were made for them to stand up at the magnet board and use them. And so that's why an oil drip pan works really well. But cookie sheets, not necessarily so well, because they are just too small, really. And they're using them more down on the table. And these were more created for some of those benefits we get from them using the easel. They can also get from them using this magnet board. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know I love to offer things to you. And so this resource right here, this new magnet board game, will be in the lovely Commotion store. And you can find it there and snag it if you think it's something that you could use in your classroom too. Let me know. Do you have a magnet center? How do you use it? Do you find that this might be helpful for you? All right, guys, I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.